So, I was chilling, and this idea came into my spirit.
No, you gonna fall.
And I'm going to tell you the idea in a minute.
Mommy,
Hmm?
do you get bite?
Hmm?
Do you get bite?
No.
No bite.
No.
No bite.
So I wrote it down.
Ah!
And it basically was talking about. So this idea came to mind. I'm going to read it. It says, they seen Jesus as a witch. This is why they nailed him to the cross alongside of everyone else that did wrong in their eyes. Spiritually, they felt like he was a criminal or a thief. They didn't feel safe. So they did what they had to do, just as they would burn away witches or sacrifice offerings to their land as a form of worship, using this was to cover up their wrongs by saying he died for our sins. So he died for our sins was basically a cover up of their wrongs. Did they kill Jesus for sacrificial purposes? Pinning him up on the cross as a label of witch. Is a symbol cross a marking of a witch? Just as they would mark cross on people to symbolize if this person is a witch, they would mark a cross on their forehead. Could the church and all that worship led there be a trap? Just as recently they beheaded many Christians, is this what they plan on doing eventually? As leading a prey to its bait, could this be the case? Could the cross, marking of a cross, symbolize a witch? And therefore, that's why they nailed him to the cross along with thieves. Because spiritually, they seen him as a thief. There was two other people besides Jesus on the cross, and those people were criminals physically. Spiritually, could they have seen Jesus as a saint? Spiritually, they seen him as that thief or that other criminal beside him in a spiritual stance. From a spiritual standpoint. He was performing works and this and that. And if you just put two and two together today, or back then, it was far worse than it is today. Back then, they would burn witches, and they would torment them, and they would, do all they can to just torture them for being who they are. I don't see them treating Jesus no differently. Maybe Jesus was the first person to actually, perform their miracles, and it was the first time they've seen it. So therefore, they feel like they crucified him for that. And maybe the sins that he died for was everybody like him. Everybody that performed those such miracles or had some type of divine, divinity trait in their blood to where they can do such things. He was the first one, to be sought out. He was the first one to do all of that. He was the first one to be called a witch. So therefore, he died for the sins, or he died for everybody else that eventually would be seen the same way, so that they wouldn't have to die the same death as he did. And these are the questions that will be asked to upcoming believers, such as kids. These are the ideas kids are going to have. These are the thoughts that kids are going to have when you bring them to church. And they're going to think, outside the box. They're going to think about everything. So just be prepared for these kind of questions being asked by your children when you introduce them to the Bible. So yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care. And I'll talk to y'all next time. The two kids over there. Bye. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Be notified. And share at your own free will to show you care.